50 Cent throws his mix twice.
What's going on, y'all? It's the kid Jay Nolan here. Hey man, you know we had to talk about 50 Cent. Now, I have always been a big fan of 50 Cent ever since he came out 2002, 2003. I even like some of the music that he dropped prior to Get Rich or Die Trying, you know what I'm saying? Mixtapes and stuff like that. Ghetto Quran, Power of the Dollar, all that shit. But the power of the dollar today is that 50 Cent's probably going to have to come out and shed out a couple dollars of his own, because footage just surfaced today of him throwing his motherfucking mic out at his latest concert out in LA, and the people are not having it. As I previously stated, 50 Cent was out in LA performing on stage. He brought YG out. They were having a great time. I believe he also brought Problem out on the stage. So it was a really dope concert that was going on. At some point, 50 Cent started having technical difficulties with his microphone. Looks like they tried to hand him multiple mics from backstage that were going in and out. Seemed like he couldn't really get his groove on while YG was performing. So eventually he ended up throwing his mic and just tossing that motherfucker with all the fervor. I mean, he threw that bitch harder than he did at the Met Stadium for the opening pitch. My God. After all of this surfaced online, we're actually starting to find out a little bit more information about somebody being hit in the crowd in the forehead. Come to find out, it wasn't just some random anybody Joe Schmo. It was actually a young lady by the name of Bryhana Monegain, who is a Power 106 radio host, okay? She hosts both mornings and afternoons at Power 106, which is a very popular station out in LA. So let's get into more information on this. 50 Cent actually is now a suspect in a criminal felony battery report, okay? Power 106 radio host Bryhana Monegain, as I stated, was the woman hit, and she filed a police report on Wednesday night. Law enforcement say they believe 50 threw the mic at his crew in the production area and unfortunately hit the victim, hit her square in the forehead. The victim told cops 50 Cent looked directly at her before throwing the mic, so at least according to her, she believes 50 Cent understood and knew that she was right there. Bryhana went to the hospital with a laceration on her forehead, which can be seen. So here's the photo of her forehead where you can see the slash and gash. Cut another hole and get. Let me stop that. But y'all can see what happened, man. I really do feel sorry for Miss Bryhana. I hate that it happened to her, but I personally don't know if 50 Cent was aiming it at her. I do think he was a little bit reckless, throwing a little bit of a tantrum because the mics weren't working, but I don't think he deliberately was aiming at her. Did they have an argument? Did they have some sort of disagreement? Have they not seen eye to eye in his visits going to Power 106? I don't know. Somebody's got to give me a little bit more information and context as to why he would want to particularly beam her in the forehead. As the story continues to evolve, there are sources out there that say Miss Bryhana was not even supposed to be in that section. I don't know if there was some sort of exchange about her not being welcome over there. I don't know if there was an argument, a disagreement. I don't know if they were trying to remove her at one point. I don't know. We got to get a little bit more info, because if that's the case, that could be a little bit something working in her favor. But at this time, they're just saying she wasn't even supposed to be there. They may be using that as a source of liability, saying, hey, he threw it at production, it hit somebody, but she was not even authorized to be there. The lawyers might try to use that to their advantage. Now, as of this afternoon, 50 Cent's lawyer, Scott Lehman, has actually spoken out and talked to TMZ, and he stated, let's be very clear. As I told LAPD this afternoon, my client Curtis, aka 50 Cent, would never intentionally strike anyone with a microphone. Anyone saying something different doesn't have all the facts and is misinformed. I do think that the lawyer is telling the truth. I do think 50 Cent was not aiming at her specifically, but this is where things get a little bit tricky for me as a fan, as a supporter, and just as a spectator. We're starting to see this really funny type of interaction going on at concerts, man. Number one, we've been seeing a lot of artists that are performing and fans throwing shit on stage. You know what I'm saying? Artists getting beamed in the head with phones. That shit is out of control. We recently had Cardi B throw mics into the crowd. She throwing mics at the DJ. Now we have 50 Cent on stage with technical difficulties. He threw his shit into the production area and smacked somebody in the head. I think there's other artists that have thrown mics recently. And I'm going to have to challenge y'all to get more control over your emotions. Y'all can't just be having these emotional outbursts, throwing your mic. The mics are hard as shit, bro. I own a couple of mics. I got one in front of me. It's not heavy as the one they got on stage. I got an SM57 in this motherfucker, or SM58. The shit that niggas be throwing, them shits is small, but if you throw it at somebody at damn 10, 15 miles per hour when it coming out your hand, that bitch gonna do some very severe damage to somebody. At the very minimum, it's gonna leave a mark, and it could do brain damage. It could do a lot of shit to somebody. You could cause them to have an aneurysm. You just never know, especially when you don't know somebody's health records. So y'all gonna have to be a little bit smarter with y'all emotional outbursts. If you can't do nothing else, just fucking stomp. All right? Take it back to the days when you was a little kid and didn't know what the fuck to do. Just goddamn stomp your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Take your ass backstage and punch a fucking pillow or something, man. Get in a pillow fight. Hell, cuss the DJ out. Cuss the production person out. Hey, y'all motherfuckers better get me a better mic out this bitch, or I'm gonna slap somebody. Do that. But when you start throwing projectiles at people, man, that is a bit excessive. You putting yourself at a very high risk to have to pay people a high amount of money. Now, we saw Cardi B get off, but that was because that person splashed on her. 50 Cent, I don't know what type of defense he's going to have that's going to get him from having to pay Bryhana. Again, she's already filed a police report. She already stated that he looked at her at least for a couple of moments before he threw the mic. So she's not backing down, no pun intended. She's not going to be easily removed from this situation. She's going to want her coin. And I'm sure her constituents and supporters over at Power 106 are going to make sure that she has the support she needs in order to pursue this, because she, like I said, is one of their primetime morning and afternoon hosts. She even has one of her own shows named after her at the station. So they like her, they love her, they're going to support her. Will they choose her over 50? I don't know, but I don't think that they should have to choose sides. They just gonna need to work this thing out. She's gonna have to be compensated, and I hope 50 Cent finds it in his heart to be like, hey, I fucked up. Don't put up no fight. I'll take care of your medical bills. I'll take care of legal fees, whatever you need, and I might pay your salary off for a year. It's a small thing to a giant when you got it, man. Because if you go outside the other way, you might have to pay even more. You're going to be on the hook legally. You got to sign paperwork. Motherfuckers start trying to dock your pay before you get it, right after you get it. And that's some shit that you just don't want. But for everybody else out there, you're going to have to allow this to be a lesson. Stop throwing these crazy ass tantrums on stage, man. We not 5, 6 years old, right? Clench up your fists, goddamn, hit the cube good and then swing at the air if you got to. But don't be out here throwing heavy ass microphones, bro. I got a homeboy that did that shit one time, man. We was at Apache. A lot of y'all don't know what Apache is, but if you from Atlanta, you already know what the deal. So this guy, my dog, G, he got up that bitch. He killing his performance and shit. That motherfucker just going in. We all singing along because there's like 5 of us on stage. That nigga get to the last line of his song. Nobody pissed him off or nothing. I don't know. Maybe he didn't feel like the crowd was reacting the way he wanted them to. That nigga threw that bitch into the crowd and walked out the goddamn building. Luckily, it didn't hit nobody, because we would have been in a very bad situation. Assault charges, police, you just never know what type of shit could come from that. So, again, let this be a lesson, man. Control your emotions. Woosah. Count to 10. If counting to 10 don't help, count to 30. Count to 60, goddamn. Take your ass backstage. Goddamn, lay down. Get a drink. Drink some water. Do whatever you got to do to get yourself back reserved. Again, this is coming from somebody who fuck with you, Fifth. This is somebody who fuck with you, Five. We want to see you win. We want to see more goddamn seasons of Power. We want to see more BMF. You know what I mean? We can't do that shit if you on the hook for some goddamn battery charges. You know how stars be playing with you any goddamn way now that you done left. So you got to move smarter, bro. You ain't been on tour in years. This is the last run. This is the last hurrah. Final tour. You about to retire from performing. Don't go out on a bad note. Go out on a high note, bruh. That's all I'm saying. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates. And I will see y'all on the next one, all right? Much love and respect. Peace.